Hey, hey, y'all.
Family, what up, what up?
It's the Power Plant couple, and we're here with our first episode of the Marriage Podcast. That's not the title. We actually don't really have a title yet. We just
Get started.
we just getting started. So, first topic of the day is: do you share passwords with your spouse? And that can be on your phone, tablet, social media, Facebook, TikTok, whatever. Do y'all share a password? Yes and no, and why? So that's what we're about to talk about, because we share everything. We definitely share all the passwords to everything, all the phones, old phones, new phones, whatever the case may be. We share, and we have learned that is like an anomaly, that most people do not do that. And we've learned through social media, because of all of the loyalty tests that we see these couples going through during the holidays. So sad. But I know y'all see these TikTokers and these bloggers getting people caught up because they don't share passwords, and it's for a reason in our eyes. I mean, I feel like if you don't share a password to your social media or your phone or something like that, it's because you have a sneaky link and you don't want your spouse to find out about it. Period.
Well, I mean, it ain't much. It is what it is, right? If you don't share passwords, you hiding something. Whether you DMing somebody, keeping them doors open for exes, right? Your spouse told you not to be friends with this person on social media, your ex, and you still friends with them, so you don't want them to know that. So and you lie and just change the password to your social media, so they don't know what it is, so they don't know. That's not the way to have a successful relationship. At some point, that is going to crash. Maybe not the relationship, but parts of the relationship is going to come tumbling down because of the lies you tell, or the lack of openness that you have in a relationship. Because if you're not willing to share your password, there's probably other stuff you're not willing to share in your relationship either.
And they say that marriages are ordained under God, and that you are supposed to become one with your spouse, which means you should have one password, one everything. And that's how we honestly approach everything. When Xavier and I first got together, I remember he was like, "Let me see your phone." And I was like, "Okay, no problem," because I've never had a problem with that, because I'm a total open book, faithful, don't come in with ill intentions, right? So I was like, sure, gave him my phone. It was so funny, because the thing he immediately did was he got my phone and had his and was doing my password to match his. And I thought, what? I was like, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, I'm changing my password to your password. And I was like, okay. And I'm like, why? So you don't forget my password? That's what it really was. But he also wanted me to have access to his phone.
No, it was
too.
not. It was not. It was not. First off, I didn't get in a relationship with no woman where I have to check her phone, first and foremost. If I feel like I got to check your phone, I'm not even going in that direction. So that was not why I asked her for a password. It was literally just so she didn't have any type of issues. I didn't want to have any type of trust issues in my relationship. So that was one way that I felt like I could eliminate as much of that as possible, because that's an issue for me. I don't want to have that in my relationship. So in order to eliminate that, here's the password to my phone. It's the same as yours, so you don't have to worry about forgetting it. Simple.
And it works. It works. It gives me peace, honestly, because when we first got together, Xavier was a trainer at a gym that he owned, and whew, I tell you, the magnitude of women, my gosh, it was crazy. The amount of women who say they want to work out and don't really want to work out, they just want a handsome, fine
Facts.
guy in their face telling them what to do in these positions, whatever. I don't know. Weird, y'all. It's weird, but nah. So it gave me a lot of peace, because a lot of these women would be emailing, texting, messaging, DMing at all times of the night, trying to see, asking, legit questions. I'm not saying anybody was crossing the line, but it was still like, okay, you just got a text at midnight. That's your client. Just talk about what? Like, what could she possibly be wanting to know? But you know, we have random thoughts. Oh, let me just hit him up. So that's actually, so it gives me a lot of peace of mind, but that's actually also how we started sharing a Facebook, which is another topic we wanted to talk about because we share Facebook and a lot of people don't like doing that either. They're just totally against that. And it's so funny to us because we really don't see why, because it makes everything so much simpler and smooth. Like literally there's no hiccups when you both have a clear understanding of what's going on, right? So that's just not an issue for us, and it's sad to see people go through that because it could all be so simple. Just cut the sneaky links out, just commit, totally commit, and then the password shouldn't be an issue. Why is it an issue? I'm still trying to figure out why it's an issue if you're not cheating.
It's only an issue if you're cheating. So if your spouse, the moral of the story, if your spouse, if you don't have the password to your spouse's phone, why? If you're married, why not? They don't have the password to your phone, why not? There's something being hidden. There's something being hidden. It's like having separate bank accounts. There's something being hidden. Why are you not being one? If you say you go from being two to one, which is what we believe, once you become one, bank accounts go from being two to one, right? Conversations going from being two to one. Passwords go from being two to one. Emails, businesses, everything goes from being two to one. Not some things, everything. If you want a successful marriage. I desire to have a successful marriage. I desire happy, harmonious marriage. And that's what I wrote down on my vision board every day before I got married. So I'm doing my best to make sure that I have that in my life. And one thing I knew that I could do was try to eliminate lack of trust, right, in my relationship as early as possible. And I knew the phone and social media is going to be the one way that's going to create this aura of trust, or this aura of whatever, right? It was just going to cause an issue, because that's how I used to cheat, through my phone. When I was cheating from social media or email or phone calls or text messages. I was cheating on my phone. So before I got married, you definitely could not have the password to my phone because I was doing stuff, which is why she has the password to my phone now, because I'm not.
It's simple, y'all. It's really simple. You shouldn't have to beg. You shouldn't have to ask. Like, you shouldn't even have to ask. It literally should be something that your partner freely gives you because they understand that it's peace on both ends. Now, I hear a lot of people talk about privacy when this matter comes up. A lot of individuals in relationships feel like they're losing themselves, their individuality. They were friends with people before they got married, and they don't want to ruin those relationships by, sharing a Facebook or sharing stuff. And they just want to keep those other relationships sacred because I guess it makes that other person feel uncomfortable knowing that, hey, I text you my intimate stuff because we're best friends, and I don't feel comfortable knowing that your husband has your password. He could see my messages, this and that. Well, look, honey, that's just a conversation that I feel like you have to have with your friend, because it sounds like you're valuing that relationship more than your spouse because you don't want to hurt their feelings. You would rather have this person in the unknown, right? Because somebody's gonna be left not knowing, right? So I would rather leave my friend left worrying, honestly, if my husband's seen her text or not, versus my husband not being able to have my password because she's scared what he might see. I just feel like if you have your priorities in order, then this whole sharing password is easy. It's an easy decision. It's an easy decision because you value this relationship at the highest, and so you're going to do whatever it takes. And if that feels painful, if it feels like something's being taken from you, then I really feel like you have to evaluate your own motives and what you really got going on, because maybe deep down you don't think this is gonna work, so you kind of keeping your options open. Maybe deep down you're like, I don't know. I don't understand that. My husband's not going to go show up at no social gathering by himself, so he's not about to socialize with y'all on social media by himself, okay?
Facts.
Just saying.
And to touch on that subject, as far as like friends and conversations, I shouldn't be having a conversation with my cousin or friend or anybody that's that is going to make her upset, right? If I'm having a conversation with my cousin and he's texting me about some girl, I shouldn't be having that conversation because there's a barrier. There's a barrier of certain things we can and cannot talk about no more because it's disrespectful to my wife. Right, and it's the same thing as far as her conversation. If she's having a conversation with her best friend, and I'm not gonna drop no names, but if she's having a conversation with her best friend, I have enough trust in our relationship that I don't read those messages. I don't want to know what they're talking about because it don't matter to me. I don't care if she don't tell me. I don't want it. I do not care.
And vice versa.
So why would I be reading those messages? And if I do read those messages, they shouldn't have anything negative to say about me, and they shouldn't be talking about some other dude that I'm gonna be like. If that's the case, you should have a password on your phone because you shouldn't be, because you doing stuff you shouldn't be doing. Period.
Moral of the story: keep it clean. If it's clean, what's the issue?
Before I got married, me and my cousin would talk about, like, he would text me some wild stuff. He would be doing stuff, like I had cousins who text me pictures of a girl that they had sex with and they took a naked picture of her, right? And just send it to me. I was single.
Ladies, be careful.
Right, I was single. You can send that to me. I'm married now. They know better not to send that to me. We don't have to have those conversations because these are mature, grown men. So I've never told them, don't send me them pictures no more. They just stopped because I'm married and they understand. Now, if they didn't understand and they did send that to me, that's a conversation I need to have with them to say, hey, this is my wife has, like, you cannot send me that. That cannot pop up on my phone because then now she's wondering what I'm talking about with you. We can't have that conversation. It should be a line. Like, you should have a boundary where they know, y'all know, once you get married, there's boundaries that come in a marriage. Now, if you say one of them type of people who say, I'm not getting married, we're just going to be together, we don't have to do that paperwork, that's crap. Don't believe that, because without that paperwork, you have no commitment. You can leave and walk away at any time, and that's what most people do. They leave and walk away because they don't feel like they have to stay in this. And marriage is forever. It's forever. There's no in and out. When you choose a spouse, you choose a spouse for life. And if you're not willing to do that, then you shouldn't be playing with nobody saying we're going to be together forever without the paperwork, because it's crap.
Right. And so we're definitely, I think we need to clarify, we are talking to married folk, right? Because if you aren't married and you're in a relationship and y'all don't share stuff, well, you haven't become one under God. So you don't have to. You're right. You maybe should keep your options open if you haven't put a ring on it, because what he waiting for, right? Guys already know quick. So it shouldn't take years and years and years, and you shouldn't have to be asking or begging for passwords, for this, for that. When a man truly loves you and sees you as valuable, he is going to do those things. Now, he may love you and see you as valuable, and he may still not be doing those things, but that's because he may be broken inside, and he is honestly not wanting a marriage. So you have to take that for what it is, sis. You just really do. But don't be out here begging these guys to share their passwords. If they don't want to give it to you, move on, because it don't take all that. It really doesn't. If he is open, he gonna be open about it all, lay it all out on the table. There's no need to hide or privacy, this and that. What is that? What is privacy when you're married, right? Like, that's gonna be our next topic.
I do got one other thing to say right before we cut off. The topic about marriage or not marriage, I went through this, right? So I don't believe in government systems and all that. I really didn't believe that we had to get a piece of paper to prove that we love each other.
He tried it, y'all. He did.
I didn't want to do it, right? I was like, I don't want to do, like, we don't have to do all that. We married. But then what happens?
I'm not gonna do this or that.
That's what happens, right? So if you don't want to commit and saying, I'm not gonna make you my wife on paper. I'm just gonna make you my wife in the spiritual realm, like we say,
fake
right?
reality.
There's certain things that you're not gonna get as a male, because females, women, they think very strategically. So they think as a wife, they have certain duties, they have certain things, certain ways, certain things that they need to uphold, certain standards as a wife they need to uphold. When they're not your wife, they don't put their mindset, don't go to that way. They're not willing to help you in the same way. They're not willing to give out the same things that they would normally give, because you haven't given them all you got. So why would they give you all they got? It don't make sense. So there's gonna be something held back because you're holding back. So men, if you don't want to get that paper, I get it, but remember, there's gonna be something being held back from you because you're holding something back from her. And also, if you die, let's keep it funky. If you die and y'all are not married, you don't have a will put in place, if you have life insurance, that life insurance goes to somebody else. It don't go to your wife. So women, if you're in a relationship with a man and y'all not married, make sure that at least you are on the life insurance as a beneficiary, right? You're on the deed of the house. Your name is on stuff, because otherwise, when y'all get to the wedding, to the funeral, it's gonna be a tough conversation for a lot of people. So I used to sell life insurance, so I think about that all the time, of men saying they don't want to be married, and I bring that conversation up all the time. Is that if you love her, why are you not doing this? Why are you not putting paperwork on it? Because it's going to cause other problems in the future that you might not even be here to correct.
And the paper means something. A lot of guys dismiss it like, oh, like the government is trying to force you into something. It's so crazy, the mindset that comes behind this paper.
Yeah.
And all it is proof. It's just proof that what you say, you gonna actually do, because
and it's gonna cost you something to get out of it.
Exactly. And women are so tired of, and I know this is both ways, but I'm a woman, so I can only speak for women. Women is tired of hearing and the actions not backing it up. So the paperwork shows that everything you told her, all them promises, you gon' keep, and she's willing to be with you forever. Because the thing is, women aren't even expecting you to deliver in the first year. You know, if you have promises of this extravagant life, she's with you for the long run. So let that paper just be just a solid commitment. It's just a contract. You wouldn't get into business with nobody without a contract.
You shouldn't.
You don't buy no car without a contract.
You shouldn't.
Then people don't let you come in there and say, I promise I'm going to pay this
do
this. I promise I'm going to come do
mama.
this. I promise I'm going to come do this. Don't nobody believe you? Why you want that woman to believe you? That's wrong. That is absolutely wrong, that you're expecting her to believe your word when the world is not set up like that. The world is not set up for us to just believe without paperwork. It just isn't. And so if you don't mind signing that paperwork for that loan, for that car, or for that house, or whatever, then you better sign it on this marriage. I'm just saying, ladies, don't fall for the okie doke. He know better. And if he don't, move around.